microphone.
Excellent.
Okay, no questions. So we are gonna go through the rubric a little bit. As you know, we have already sent you the rubric by email, but if you haven't received it, again, let us know by chat or switch on your microphone and politely tell us to send it to you. So this is the rubric that you are going to be assessed. As you can see, we have divided the marks from E to A. We will assess you in your knowledge and understanding of audience, purpose, and context. And if you want to have a grade A, you should understand how text structures can influence the complexity of a text and are dependent on audience, purpose, and context. Well, after we are going to explain that slowly now, but we will give you some minutes after the explanation to go through all the different grades. So another important point that you will have to address in your assessment is the cultural awareness. As you know, you need to include some cultural features of the Spanish language. So if you want to have a grade A, you should demonstrate evidence showing different beliefs, working and learning from diversity of communities and cultures. We will also like you to demonstrate ability to assess the impact of assumption, judgments, or ideas related to one's own and other cultures.
Excellent. So we're also looking at your coherence. So are you understanding how sections of language can be used for a particular purpose and effect? And we'll be assessing that to what your degree is and your understanding of that. Another thing we'll be looking at is character. So we have explored previously characterization. So when you're creating your short story, are you creating characters and using those techniques to create that fictional character? And you can clearly identify the character in your text. We're also going to look at conflict. Can the reader who's reading your work understand where the conflict or the problem is happening? And is it easy to identify this in your short story? Another form of language feature we'll be looking at is setting. So are you creating a vivid description of the words and you're describing a really good detail about where the story is taking place? And as well as the plot. So are you sequencing your ideas about how you are writing a story? Does it make sense? Is there a sequence and is there a flow to it?
Another important point will be the organization of ideas. So please make sure that your short story is well organized. You also need to make sure of the flow of the short story. You should include setting, conflict, different points of view, changes in time, location.
Excellent. So we'll also be looking at how well you interpret the genre of magical realism and whether that's evident within your stories. So we're looking for those linguistic devices and whether it's coherent and it's correctly embedded in the story. Also, when we're reading your work, we're assessing whether you have proofread your work and whether you've got correct punctuation, whether you've got those grammatical devices, and whether it's got that sense of flow. But we're really looking at those grammatical, if there are any grammatical errors in your work.
So now we are going to give you a bit of time to discuss the rubric. We have sent you this by email, so you should have that in your email. So now we are gonna do little breakout rooms You can discuss in pairs or in small groups. And then please, if you have any questions, let us know.